This video explores the rise of Traore in Burkina Faso, his promises, his rule, his future, and the consequences for the country and its people. Captain Traore, born in 1988 in the Haut-Bassin region of western Burkina Faso. Traore is among the youngest leaders in Africa. He studied geology before joining the military, where he rose through the ranks as an artillery officer. Ibrahim Traore, the young, little-known military officer, seized power in 2022. He is seen by many as the Thomas Sankara of this generation. He promised hope, but will his rule bring freedom or fear? Traore commanded huge following among Africans, home and abroad. He also faced huge criticism among many. His critics cite decades of failed and corrupt military regimes across the continent as one reason the people remain poor. Admirers quickly hailed him as a savior and argued he is a leader capable enough to end insecurity and restore stability. Traore vows to empower the military, root out corruption, and create a fairer society. His fiery speeches inspire hope, especially among the youth desperate for change. But as time passes, reforms appear stall and violence persists. Discontent continues to grow in some part of the country, and Traore responds by silencing critics and tightening his grip on power. The revolutionary image is still holding, but for how long, only time will tell. Traore is a leader ruling through fear and force. As Traore consolidates power, press freedom quickly erodes. Independent media face shutdowns and journalists are harassed, arrested, or silenced. International outlets are barred, and the regime justifies its crackdown as necessary for national security. With dissenting voices suppressed, government propaganda dominates the airwaves. The people are then deprived of reliable information, meaning they become vulnerable to manipulation. Ibrahim Traore's promises of a swift return to democracy faded as he entrenched his rule. He dissolves parliament, postpones elections, and rules by decree. The military has become a constant presence, and the judiciary is purged of dissenters. Civil society groups are harassed, their activities restricted, and sometimes their leaders are intimidated. The rule of law gives way to the rule of force. Any opposition is ruthlessly crushed as Traore seeks total control. Burkina Faso, brief democratic hopes have been replaced by authoritarian rule. Traore shifts Burkina Faso's foreign policy, turning further away from the West and closer to Russia. He accuses France of hypocrisy and demands the withdrawal of French troops. Traore signs security and arms deals with Moscow, deepening Russian influence. Regional blocs, such as Economic Community of West Africa, condemn his actions and impose sanctions. Western donors suspend aid, isolating Burkina Faso further. The country's future now hangs in the balance, caught between new alliances and growing uncertainty. So what would Traore's future look like, especially when the war between Russia and Ukraine ends, meaning the need for Russia to continue support may no longer exist? So, if Vladimir Putin were to withdraw Russian support for Ibrahim Traore, Traore's regime could face serious instability. Without Russian military backing like the Africa Corps and arms shipments, Burkina Faso's fight against jihadist insurgents would weaken significantly. Internally, his hold on power could unravel as the military's confidence in his leadership diminishes, possibly leading to another coup. Externally, Traore has alienated many Western allies, so without Russian protection he'd be politically isolated and economically vulnerable, especially given his rejection of foreign loans and reliance on Russian-linked gold deals. In short, without Putin's support, Traore could lose both his power base and the narrative control that has kept him in charge. Therefore, the question is, would Traore improve the situation in his country, or just another revolutionary leader in name only? Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share and comment.